We are back with day 4 and it seems like the streak is still going. I'm flipping over to a blank page following what I did yesterday with the sort of half full colored background with multiple layers on it, and as you can see from the left hand side of the page, there's barely any texture or buckling to the Midori paper, so I feel confident that I can use a little bit more washes even on this spread that I'm going to write and draw on, which is going to be a scene from the beach, which is where the glamping site is located. So in case you missed yesterday's video, which in case of that you can check it out real quick, linked in the right corner. Me and my friends are going glamping near a beach site here in Hong Kong, and we arrived sort of in the afternoon, so we had time to play a little bit of ball, a little bit of friendly throwing and catching, and it was a really nice overcast day, perhaps around 16-17 degrees Celsius, so it wasn't too hot and we were able to spend our afternoon out in the sun. So I wanted to capture that in, and on the lower part I just budgeted a space for a wristband that we received as guests for the night at the glamping space because it is also a sports area. So if we wear the wristband, then the staff can kind of know that we are actually staying nearby. Not sure if there's any different treatment or whatever, but maybe they know to ask us for when they want to light our grill, which we have since we're barbecuing as well near our tent site, which I also contemplated drawing that, but after remembering the nightmare it was to layer the darkness from yesterday's spread, I decided not to. And plus day 3 was already like a night-ish spread anyway, and the tent that I drew was somewhat accurate to what was there in real life, so I thought I would contrast that with like a daytime scene. Here I'm just trying to add some texture to the sky, the ocean, just using the biggest brush I have, which I don't know if I have any brushes that are wider, but currently this is my biggest brush, so we're sticking with that. And to start off, I literally just sort of muddled together all the colors that are on the top of this tin watercolor case, and it's a really great way to get grays. I realize is just to mix all the colors together. I think just naturally everything mixed together would be a sort of gray, especially if you add water and dilute the mix. But it turned out to be like kind of a grayish blue that I want for an overcast sky, especially because I just added a little bit of I think cyan blue or pure synthetic blue pigment that could help shift the tone to be a little bit blue. I did already draw everything very roughly with pencil, and I contemplated going in with the brush pen, but I think if I go in with the brush pen I would want a little bit to draw in all the details, so I kind of decided against that and decided I would just keep it as simple as possible with the most basic silhouettes and get the gesture of the drawing of the people right. I am referencing a photo that I also took during this day, and I think I ended up sort of using very light washes only to layer them bit by bit over time, and also making sure that the washes are dry before I lay down any watercolor blotches next to the ones that I just laid down, just to make sure that the colors don't bleed into each other and I have a glob of mess. Anyways, I am just drawing in like the gloves. So this is a baseball, that's the ball, and also 2 gloves that I'm just trying to get a shape of. Nothing too detailed. I'm trying to use the white as well to draw in the clouds in the sky, although the whites do tend to become a little bit less opaque as they dry, and I'm not sure if it's because the wash of the sky is too light or if the white just naturally dries, but it does make any washes a little bit more opaque, as you will see in a bit. And on the top left corner, I'm drawing a little bit of the mulled wine that I made because I'm so proud of it, and I think even yesterday, in yesterday's spread, I did put in some ingredients of the mulled wine that I wanted to bring in. So I thought I would record how it all looked as well inside this pot. This is where I wanted to make things a little bit dark, but what I did instead of, because it's such a small kind of doodle on the corner of the page, I'm able to dip directly into the pan, so I could get like really thick pigment, and therefore I could build up the opaqueness or the darkness of this little doodle really quickly. I try to add in a little bit more metallic-y texture with like the whites and stuff at the end. Not sure if it superbly came through, but I think I did get the general colors that I want in, which is a lot of dark red, maroon, orange, a little bit of white, reflections here and there, and also the different shades of gray of the metallic surfaces. In the distance as well, you could see like in the background, so I'm just switching back to the daytime sketch. I try to add in a little bit of mountain to show that that was indeed the background that we're in. It's a beach, a little bit of the water, and also like somewhat overcast blue sky with some mountains in the distance. And that was kind of the vibe of the day. Back to the mulled wine, I'm just adding some white highlights by dipping directly into this titanium white. I think it did end up being strong enough that I didn't need to pull out my gouache. I'm actually really fond of this titanium white that is in this Sketcher set by Greenleaf and Blueberry because it's just so easily rewettable, and it's a dream to work with when I'm trying to add in white or make some mixes a little bit more opaque. So I really wish that I could get it elsewhere, but I know that they don't restock as often, and I always check every time they restock if they have some titanium white for grabs, either if it's like the half pan or the quarter pan that goes into the art toolkit sets, but I don't think they've had it for a very, very long time, so I just kept it at that. Also sorry that I didn't seem to do the sticking of the wristband in frame. I think I went a little bit too low on my page, but I think I will lay it out at the end so you're able to see. And now, just to really accentuate that highlight of the pan or the pot, I just added a little bit of shadow, even though it looks a little bit weird because it's like where the sun is supposed to be, but not really. But it's a journal spread, so I think that it's not supposed to make sense anyhow. But yes, anyway, so I did cut up the wristband and pasted it in the bottom part of the spread with my tape runner, and then now I'm just journaling in the writing with my brush pen. I think I tend to write a little bit more in capital letters just because my handwriting is not the most legible handwriting, especially if I'm doing something with really thin lines or really thin pen. So I am hoping that this brush pen would actually make my writing a little bit more legible. And I think that's going to be it for today's spread. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. And good luck with your December dailies.